First of all, very good morning to all of you, and always try to attend the live classes because the feeling will be much better as compared to recorded class. The reason is only one, because if you go for the recordings is already there with you. The old batch recording has been given to all of you. You can see those recordings as far as from December or June 2022 batch is concerned. There is no changes. The new IFRS 17, 18, 19 are going to come, but still for the June 2023 exam, they are not relevant. That is not in the syllabus. So for that reason, since last 1 year, from June 2022 and again in December 2022 and now in June 2023, there is no change in the syllabus. So why I am teaching live? Reason is only one, to give better feeling, to have better discussion, to get juice in the class. For that reason, the live classes are there. Otherwise, recordings are already there. Now, there are 3-4 categories of students in this batch. All are going to study accounts. The financial statement preparations, recording of transactions, analyzing financial statements from different aspects, which we say as accounting subject. Suppose we are talking about IFRS students. They have to study all the IAS and IFRS, International Accounting Standards and International Financial Reporting Standards. International Accounting Standards was published till 2000. And then from 21st century, from 2001 onwards, the body started publishing IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. So, in practical life, if there is new IFRS published in last 21 years, 22 years, then we need to refer that IFRS. But if in the last 22 years, there is something for which new IFRS is not published, then we need to refer the IAS, International Accounting Standards. So for you, me or anybody, there is no difference between IAS and IFRS. If there is no IFRS, then the old rule is applicable, which was published up till 2000, which is International Accounting Standards. For those, the new IFRS is published by the body, the Accounting Standard Board. Then in that case, we will refer IFRS. So for me and you, we don't have to distinguish between IAS and IFRS. Those IFRS are relevant as on today. For our exams, we are going to study. So if I will say IFRS syllabus includes all IAS and IFRS. If I will say SBR syllabus include IAS, all IAS, IFRS. If I will say CIMA management case study students includes all IAS, IFRS. If I will say CPA students includes all IAS, IFRS. For CPA, there is US GAAP also that will be taught to them separately. But then IAS and IFRS is common area for everybody. Now, for some of the students, the exam is multiple choice question. Suppose CPA students, 1 question, 4 option, you need to select the correct one. For some of the students like CIMA students, there is only theoretical answer. There is no calculation involved in the exam. You need to explain in theoretical term. For IFRS students, it's a theory and numerical mixed. That means some calculations are there, which you need to present in Excel sheet, and some theoretical explanations are there, which you need to present in Word file. For SBR student, I will say it's a 70-30. Around 70% is theoretical answers and 30% is calculation based answers. But in case of IFRS and SBR, there is no multiple choice questions. All questions are essay type. They will give a question. Based on that, they will ask A, B, C some questions. Some questions will involve some calculations. Some question involves some theoretical part. We need to answer all numericals and theory. For CIMA students, there is no numericals. All are theory. Theoretical explanation. And for CPA students, all are multiple choice questions. But whether whatever category of the question is there, First of all, you, me need to understand the concept behind that IAS. Why that IAS is there, why the accounting body in the world launched that IAS IFRS, how the transactions will be recorded by that IAS IFRS. And if we come to know that, then whether it's a theory, whether it's a numerical, whether it's multiple choice, we can answer all of them. The first thing is that we need to understand the concept. So my objective is to give you knowledge, the concept which is required for the exam. Now, if we talk of the level of question, or I will say the type of question which they are asking in exams, for ACCA SBR, the level of question is the highest level. The questions are very tricky. The questions are very detailed. And I will say 30 to 40% paper in the exam every term for ACCA SBR is something for which in the market there is no IAS IFRS. That means you as an accountant need to explain the accounting treatment for those things for which the accounting body in the world has not published any IAS IFRS. For that there is no rule. You as a knowledgeable person need to explain how this will be accounted for. Say suppose accounting for cryptocurrency. There is no IAS IFRS up till now. And that is, there is no IFRS going to be published in recent times. Maybe the cryptocurrency accounting has already been asked in the SBR exam. So you can refer the past term papers. But there are many questions or the scenarios which they ask in every exam which are not covered in any book. You need to be, as a highest level of accountant, need to understand that, give your view that in this situation how this should be accounted for. So SBR exam is the highest level exam. Then comes, I will say, IFRS exam. In IFRS, the question are monotonous type. I will say monotonous means the same type of question which are coming in the exam. And those questions are not difficult. But then the pass percentage in IFRS is slightly lower than SBR exam. In SBR exam, the pass percentage is around 50%. But in IFRS, the pass percentage is around 40%. Maybe the level of question which they are asking in SBR are of a higher standard, but then pass percentage in SBR is better than pass percentage in IFRS. If we say CIMA case study exam, the CIMA case study exam is not asking you any numerical calculation. Use of calculator is not there in the exam. Whatever need to be calculated, that is given in the question. You need to interpret those calculations. If there is a fight between CFO or CEO, or maybe some marketing person, IT person relating to accounting treatment of something, you need to explain your views, the correct accounting treatment, who is correct and all that, like that type of question. I will say that the level of question which are asked in CIMA case study exam are having further lower standard as compared to IFRS and SBR. In case of CPA FAR exam, since it includes US GAAP also, which we are not discussing in this batch, that includes the US GAAP also. Since US courses, whether it's CPA, CMA, US, they have very less exams. Like in ACCA, we have 13, 15 subjects. In Indian course, we have CA, CWA, 15, 20 subjects. US courses, number of subjects are less. So US courses cover from basics till the top level in a particular subject. So FAR subject, some questions are very silly, normal. Some questions are medium level. Some questions are of very high level. There are different types of questions are there because in CPA FAR, they will ask question on accrual concept also. They will ask questions on basic golden rules of accounting, debit credit also. And they will ask the questions from the highest level accounting, leasing, financial instruments, everything. So it's because In CPA, there is different parts, that in foundation level you study accounts, in intermediate level you study accounts, and then in final level another accounts. Like in ACCA, we have in knowledge level accounting subject 100 marks, in skill level 100 marks, then in professional level SBR 100 marks. So that difference is there. But in CPA, the questions are easy also, difficult also. Now, one thing I want to say to all of you, what is our purpose of attending this class? To pass the exam or to get the knowledge? Everybody. What is the purpose of doing this course? Maybe you are doing CIMA, maybe you are doing ACCA, maybe you are doing DIP IFRS, whatever, maybe you are doing CPA. Both. Then, Surojit, how we can pass the exam? When we will pass the exam? When we will pass the exam? Everybody, if anybody think both, I am also thinking both. But how can we say that we will pass the exam? Whatever exam we are going to give. With our knowledge. So my class are not designed just for the exam purpose. Because as per me, I will go with Preetham. If I have knowledge, I will automatically pass the exam. If I know the concepts, I will be feeling confident while giving the exam. मेरे को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होने वाली है. अगर मैं एग्जाम पास करना चाहता हूं, मेरे को नॉलेज होना चाहिए. बाय द टाइम द एग्जाम विल बी कमिंग, आई शुड बी फीलिंग कॉन्फिडेंट दैट आई नो द थिंग्स. द सेकेंड थिंग, सपोज यू हैव स्टडीड समथिंग, यू गिव द एग्जाम, यू पास द एग्जाम्स. When you go somewhere for interview, for growth in your life, because all our working professional, because everybody says me, sir, I am working. Sir, I will not get time to study. You need to discount this fact that in this batch, the WhatsApp group which is created, all students, not a single piece, all students are working professionals, all. So we need to understand we have joined the classes or we have joined the course to increase our knowledge so that we will get growth in life. Or maybe you are not targeting growth. Wherever you are working, you are very satisfied. You don't have the target to change your job for coming 2-3 years. You want to work there in much better way. Your objective is to help lead a team in much better way. The things which you are not able to understand, you want to understand. Because in the long run, exam don't have any meaning. If you say I am IFRS compliant, if you say I am ACCA qualified, if you say I am CA qualified, nobody is concerned with an experienced person. Those who are already working. For a fresher, degree is more important. But for a person who is already working, more than the degree, your whole life depends upon knowledge. Are you able to, in accounting area, help anybody? Because you are studying the highest level of accounting. There is no further accounting beyond this. So as per me, Surojit, the most important is knowledge. And then comes the exam. Because maybe exam passing is essential. But then if your knowledge is there, you will get the benefit for whole life. But if the knowledge is not there, and maybe we are passing the exams, we will not get growth in life. We will not be satisfied. So the class is going to be conducted not with the aspect of what is in the syllabus. We will discuss everything very detailed. And since you all are working, if you have anything in your organization which you are facing problem or some issues, we want to discuss that also in the class. Maybe that is not part of the exam, but we will discuss. We want to cover that. The last thing, third thing. For all the students, since it is a common batch, when I will be teaching something, suppose I am teaching foreign subsidiary, suppose I am teaching consolidated cash flows, suppose I am teaching financial instruments very detailed, then I will be telling in the class that this is not in the syllabus of, say, CIMA, not in the syllabus of IFRS. I will be telling that this is not in the syllabus curriculum. Suppose those are out of the batch 3-4 classes of around 3 hours each. That means 10 to 12 hours study, not required as per syllabus wise for IFRS student, for CIMA students. But I will be giving you link of the class. You don't want to attend. You don't want to do the recordings of that. It's upon you. I am not saying that that is in your syllabus. There is around some areas which are only there in SBR and CPA. That is not there in IFRS and CIMA curriculum. When I will be teaching that, at that time I will be telling, I will be reminding, this is out of the syllabus for IFRS and CIMA students. You want to attend that class, you want to do the recordings, it's upon you. Because the purpose is not just giving the exam and passing the exam. If you don't want to do that, when the class link will be shared, you need to be regularly with me. We are not doing class every day in the week. If we do every day, we can complete in around 25-30 days. We are starting on 13th March. We can complete by 15th of April, finish. But I know that nobody will be able to study. Nobody will be able to do self-study. And then in that case, the knowledge will be zero. So just passing the exam, just completing the syllabus is not our objective. Not that I want to keep it for 3 months continuously. No. Not that I want to take other batches. I can teach other batches other time. There is no problem. I know that when you will be studying something, you need to give time for your self-study. You need to do research. Maybe something in your organization going on. Want to solve that with the help of the knowledge which you are getting in the class. That is most important. So whatever we are going to study in our 2 days classes, Monday, Wednesday, in the beginning, say 1 or 2 weeks, you will find that it is going very slow. But just after 2 weeks, you will find that I am going very fast. You are not getting time to study. That you will be realizing when you will not study in these coming 15 days. Whatever I am saying, if you are not starting your study, and then the problem arises that the students are not giving exam. Today everybody joins, or maybe those who are not live, they have thought that this time in June they will give exam. But what happens? Presently there is no exam form to be filled up. The exam form need to be filled up for every student. Whether it's IFRS, SBR, CIMA, any student, the exam form need to be filled up by April end. It's around 40 days are left. So when today we are joining, we think that obviously why I will not give exam? Maybe I am working, I will work hard, I will study something regularly so that I can give exam. But when the mid of April will come, 50% will say we are not giving exam. I will prepare better. Because they will say, sir, office mein year ending hai, extra kaam hai. Believe me, June mein, when you give exam, not in June or in September or later December, whenever, kaam kabhi kam nahi hone wala hai. Every organization where you all are working want to grow. और अगर उनका revenue grow करेगा, team बढ़ेगी, तो आपका काम तो बढ़ेगा ही ना. And you want that you should be getting more responsibility so that you will be able to earn more. You are getting bigger responsibility, you want that. So for that reason, this thing is illogical. Maybe you are communicating me in the WhatsApp, maybe you are mailing, that doesn't have any meaning. You will say that, sir, you are very, you are saying very harsh, but that is the fact. We need to understand for any exam which we are teaching, you don't need to study more than 2 hours in a day. Sometimes you are very busy, you are puzzled with the office work and all that, maybe some family issues. Maybe one day you are not studying, but still on that day, just open the books, just study for 10 minutes. Your one day should not be going, a single day should not be going without study. And when you are free, when you can manage more, then at that time you study more. You need to take a target that every week I will study for around 14 to 15 hours. Not for passing the exam, Surojit. Not for passing the exam, but for getting knowledge. Because if you regularly don't study 2 hours in average, in a week around 14-15 hours, you will not be feeling confident. Your knowledge will be getting affected. And Surojit, you must have realized you joined for AFM subject for ACCA, even though late, but you studied very well and you the most probable that you will pass the exam. But I mean to say that we need to understand this is not the course, whichever course you all are doing, that at the time of exam, you will take holiday for 5 days, you will start studying 15 hours in a day. That may be helping you to pass the exam, but the knowledge will be zero. Like we eat every day, we do our daily work, we need to study daily. And one thing, forget about exam or passing the exam, getting the degree. Once we complete the course now, whether the changes in the market will stop, whether the IFRS will not come, The market is very, very subjective. I mean to say, so many changes are coming. I cannot see the video. What should we do, sir? You can just re-log in again. Others are able to see my video. हो सकता है प्रतीक जी आप कुछ क्लिक कर दिए हैं और वो गायब हो गया है, तो आप फिर से लॉग ऑफ करके लॉग इन करिए, हो जाएगा. ठीक है ना? नो प्रॉब्लम. सो व्हाट आई वाज सेइंग दैट केवल एक ही बात है, सबको चैट करना है, एवरीवन इन द मीटिंग. When you are chatting, below in the chat box there is written to, beside to there is a drop down arrow. Click the drop down arrow and select everyone in the meeting, so that everybody will be on the same page. No personal chatting, okay? Just a request. So what I was saying that कि even though you complete SBR, IFRS, whatever, even though you complete whatever, the question is that the changes is the only thing which is constant. If somebody studied, say, CA, Chartered Accountant, many CAs are there in our class, and you studied accounts 10 years back, 15 years back or some time. What was the volume of accounting standards and all that, and now there is a sea change. The level by which the changes are happening is very, very far, far greater than what it was happening 10 years earlier. तो आपको फिर से अपने आप को अपडेट करना होगा. यानी कि you understand that maybe you get the IFRS degree, maybe you get the ACCA degree, but you will find that you are lagging behind if you are not updating yourself. So not related with the course, but ये आपके मन में होना चाहिए. If you want to expert in something, कोई particular area में, you want to say that I know everything, you have to regularly upgrade that thing. With the social media, with the different websites, with the institute website or anything. What you need to be selecting and then you need to upgrade. Maybe Chat GPT, maybe Google, whatever. It's a never ending process. ये आपके जीवन में होना चाहिए at our level, you, me and everybody, that हर दिन कुछ ना कुछ पढ़ना है. हर दिन 1 hour, half an hour, 1.5 hours, I need to study till my whole life. Whatever I don't know, whatever happening in front of me, हम लोग को ये अपडेट करना पड़ेगा. नहीं तो कोई फायदा नहीं है, आप कर भी लेंगे तो भी फिर खत्म हो जाएगा. So, first prime motive is to get the knowledge. Forget about that is this for SBR, is this for IFRS, is this for CIMA, ये कोई मतलब ही नहीं. For CIMA students, since the question level is lower, whatever I am going to teach in the class, that much detailed knowledge for CIMA students is not required, specifically. The reason why I am taking them in this batch, this I started last 2 years back from 2021, whereas CIMA case study exams are happening since 2015. I realized that the students are failing the exam because of this accounting part, because most of them are MBA, they have not studied accounts properly, and one question comes in the exam relating to accounting part. Even though in last 2 years I am teaching in the class, still I am finding that the students are not able to write accounting answer only. हर बैच में मैं देखता हूं. In the last batch, when the exam was there for November and February, when the student given the exam for CIMA, later on they said that sir accounting वाला अच्छा नहीं हुआ. Even though the knowledge required in CIMA for F2 say 10%, I am giving 90% extra. But still they are facing problem in the exam on the F2 part, accounting part, financial accounting part. So when I am doing any question in the class, solving in Excel or something, that is not relevant for CIMA student. But then how you will explain your thought process if you don't know the things? So for CIMA students, you don't solve so many questions which we will be discussing or solving in the class. But at least out of so many questions we are discussing, 1 or 2 questions you should solve. Write theory, because there are so many theory. In IFRS, 50% theory. In SBR, 70% theory. In CIMA, 100% theory. So there are so many questions on theoretical concept based that you need to write in practice. Practice in writing. If you don't practice in writing, you can't pass the exam. Because maybe you know the things, but you are not able to present it the way it is required. For that reason, the students are failing the CIMA case study exam. So it's extra study for them. But then when I teach in the separate class in 2 or 3 classes, the things which I am explaining in 25 classes, then they don't able to understand that. They don't able to reproduce. For that reason, the CIMA student since last 2 years are asked to attend the entire IFRS IAS classes. Not so much relevant one-to-one in the exam, but then if you have knowledge, then only you can write the answers, which you will feel when I will take separate classes for CIMA students once the pre-seen material will be released. Now, many of the CIMA students don't know the pre-seen material, the exam pattern, how. There is a video which is given to you. You go in YouTube, Prakash Saraf official YouTube channel, go in playlist, go in CIMA, go CIMA MCS, see one video of the first class of 2 hours. What is the exam structure and all that? Because when I will be taking the CIMA MCS classes separately, at that time you will say that I don't know. That means you don't want to pass. So if somebody want to say that I want to pass the exam, you should be ready that exam structure वगैरह क्या है. मैं अभी आप लोग को दिखा रहा हूं कि एग्जाम स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, सभी को किसका कैसे पेपर आता है, हाउ वी नीड टू राइट द आंसर्स एंड एवरीथिंग. व्हाई? बिकॉज इफ एनीबडी विल स्टडी बाय pen and paper basis, taking printout, studying on pen and paper, you can't pass the exam. That we need to understand from today beginning only. कि आप पहले से पढ़ रहे हैं, आपने प्रिंट आउट निकाला है या आने वाले समय में आप प्रिंट आउट निकाल के पढ़ने वाले हो, आप रेडी रहिए. सुरजीत दा, वी कांट पास द एग्जाम. Surajit, you know that in AFM classes I said this again and again. Same thing I am saying here. Because we have the habit to read from the books. That is not a bad habit. But then the problem is that all the international courses exams are computer based. We all are working. In our organization, we are doing work on Excel, Word file, mail, social media, all these things. But then in exam, our habit has not developed to read the question on a screen, write the answer on a screen. वो habit हमने develop किया नहीं है. और वो हैबिट एग्जाम के टाइम पे 5 दिन में एग्जाम के दिन नहीं हो सकता है. देयर आर सो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स, सो मेनी फेल द एग्जाम इन एवरी टर्म just because of this reason. They know the concept, they deserve to pass, but they are not passing the exam because they have studied in a wrong way. They have studied with the printouts, they have solved the solutions on copy pen basis, and in the exam they are not conversant with the exam software, the speed which is required in the exam, and they are failing the exam. Whereas the same student in their practical life in organization doing everything on screen, but for study purpose taking a pen, printing and this, ये सब आदत हम लोग की जाती नहीं है. और सबसे पहला बात है जीवन में आदत को चेंज करना. We need to change ourselves from today, not after the class or during the time of exam. नहीं अलाउड है. अगर पास होना है सुरजीत और एनीबडी, आपको प्रिंट आउट नहीं निकालना है, आपको स्क्रीन पे ही पढ़ना है. जब आप अपना क्वेश्चंस आंसर सॉल्व करोगे, प्रैक्टिस करोगे, you need to answer on screen, you need to read on screen, you need to bring माने develop your habit कि I need to solve like this in the exam.